I followed a little bit of what happened in South Carolina, not too intently. It wasn't a huge surprise. Everybody says after they lose that they're going to stay in a race, and then they drop out. Before the announcement this morning that the Koch network is going to stop funding Haley, it makes me wonder. But as of Sunday, I was convinced she's going to stay in here through March. And the reason why she's running, it seems to me to be one reason and one reason only. I mean, I guess you could argue that she thinks that he's going, he could get hit by a bus, or just, his arteries could be clogged so much that he goes, he has some type of like massive medical thing. But I also do think that a lot of the money that has been supporting her has been there to try and thwart him in the general.
I hear you on that.
Because it definitely doesn't help him to have to expend resources in whatever resources, money, time, effort, on dealing with these primaries.
Could be going to lawyers.
It could be going to lawyers. For one thing.
And Biden's outspending him 2-1. So what this is for, apparently, or has not outspending him, has 2-1 in terms of fundraising at this point. And part of what the money that Trump raises has to go towards his legal battles. That's what he's doing.
And let's be clear, Trump got outraised in 2016 as well.
True.
But I imagine the Biden campaign this time around is listening to people in Wisconsin, listening to people in Michigan, listening to people in Nevada, listening to people in Pennsylvania. I imagine.
Some people in Michigan, not the Arab Americans who are trying to
the people there listening.
Protest the genocide.
We'll see. Tomorrow is Michigan's primary.
Yep.
And we'll be talking more about the attempts to have people vote uncommitted. Again, this is a primary. This is the time to register your dissatisfaction with policies or candidates, et cetera, et cetera. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, he's not getting the respect that one would expect from Fox News these days, at least from Brett Baer, who apparently is the one guy who's allowed to be mean to Trump at the network. But I think it's really just a countdown until Trump is like, that Brett Baer.
Yeah.
I think they've got a problem over there at Fox. But here is Brett Baer with Donald Trump, asking if Trump is concerned about maybe losing suburban women voters. But in fact, Brett Baer is still under the delusion that Trump didn't win in 2020. That's Brett Baer's problem.
Yes, right, exactly.
What do you say to that female independent suburban voter who feels that way, to win her back?
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot, okay? Let's get that straight. I won in 2020.
You know that
and if you look at all of the tapes, if you look at everything that you want to look at, you take a look at Truth to Vote, where they have people stuffing the ballot boxes on tapes, or
Mr. President,
let's go to recent. Well, wait a minute. Let's go to recent. FBI Twitter. Let's go to recent. The 51 agents, all corrupt stuff, Brett.
Understand about the Hunter Biden,
no, but
all
that's cheating
fair
on the
thing.
election.
But
that's cheating on the election.
You lost the 2020.
Oh, pause it for 1 second. Incidentally, something interesting that just came up there as, Trump is like yelling at Brett Baer, and Brett's going, but Mr. President, you didn't really win the election. He says, you hear Brett Baer say the Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Because we were told repeatedly that the reason why Donald Trump lost the election is because we didn't get to see enough images of Hunter Biden's penis on Twitter in the run-up to the election. Now,
dick suppression.
There was a lot of
and don't forget about the crack.
The crack and the crack penile suppression.
If people could have just been more exposed.
We needed more
crack
images.
Penile suppression.
Apparently.
But it also it appears that there may be a relationship between this Smirnoff guy who has just been indicted by a grand jury for lying to the FBI about his 1023 form, claiming that Joe Biden got $5 million from Burisma, and how those dick pics got on a laptop. Now, I think that part of that story is developing. We'll see more, but it's interesting that it just came up here.
Yeah.
Oh, but
All
that's cheating
fair
on the
things,
election.
but
That's cheating on the
You
election.
lost the 2020 election.
Brett, you take a look at all of the stuffed ballots, you take a look at all of the things, including things like the 51 intelligence
There
agents.
were recounts in all of the swing states. There was not significant
We're
widespread
trying
fraud.
to get recounts, real
There were
recounts, not just
Real
numbers of votes
widespread
cast.
corruption. There was not a sense of that. There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers, some in front of
Ready,
judges that you appointed.
Look at Wisconsin.
That came out with no evidence.
Wisconsin has practically admitted it was rigged. Other states are doing the same right now, and it's continuing on.
Been
It was
reviews
a
of
rigged
every
election.
potential case of voter fraud in 6 battleground states, and they found fewer than 475 cases.
You know why?
that
Because
was
they
not
didn't
affected.
look at the right things.
Okay,
Brett.
are you going
they
to
were
be-
They were counting ballots, not the authenticity of the ballot. The ballots were fake ballots. This
I
was a
asked,
very rigged
Are you
election.
going to go, this is how you're going to tell that independent suburban woman voter
No,
to vote for
we're
you?
off to winning an election, and I think we're winning very well.
I like his
I got a
tone
poll just
changes
recently.
there.
I have it here.
Oh, no,
I know.
actually.
And I watched the
But I-
numbers.
There you go.
Yeah, Brett Baer has to come out there because of the litigation piece. He's the one guy, I guess, that'll stick
I
his
wonder
neck
if
out.
part of their settlement was you guys got to do actual news at
Yeah.
least, like 2% of the time. Meanwhile, Trump has a plan, where he's not going to have to worry about any type of suburban voters. Why? Because every time he gets indicted, he is building his support amongst African Americans. Here he is explaining at the Black Conservative Federation event in Columbia, South Carolina.
And then I got indicted a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against. It's been pretty amazing, but it. And
They
then I-
called
Why are
Clinton.
they discriminating? Is it Democrats?
Yeah, they called Clinton the first black president, and Obama, he's got the whole Muslim piece. I'm the first black president because of
It's
all
like-
the indictments.
It's like if he was talking to like Jewish leaders, like, you guys like to make deals, right? He just can't help himself.
No, he did
Obviously.
that. He did that.
Well, that's what
Yes.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
I know some people say this is a bit of a trope, but you get it. You guys get it.